So hello, this video is here to help you set up the ServiceNow Zoom Spoke app and the ServiceNow Notify Zoom Connector app. So let's get started. So first thing to know is like you should already be having your admin privilege, or rather the admin account for the marketplace.zoom.us. I am already logged in there, and this is the page you have. Now let's start from here. Let's start by creating an auth application. So you go to, this is the current interface we have right now in Zoom Marketplace, but this can change in future. So this is what it is right now. In develop, we go to build app, and we are going to create an auth application. So let's go to create. We will give it some name. Let's call it Zoom demo. And for this integration to work properly, this has to be selected as account level application. Okay, and we do not want this to be published into the Zoom Marketplace. If you do that, then you make this app available to other people on the Zoom Marketplace, and this particular has to go through a lot more process and approval from the Zoom guys, and this particular use case is not really suited for that kind of usage. So we'd want to uncheck this thing, so it is available only to us within our account, not on the marketplace. Now let's create. So Zoom has already created one client ID and a secret here, which we can see by clicking this eye icon. Okay, now first thing first, let's give some information. Zoom demo, that name is already copied here. These things are optional, we'll see. The important thing first we need is the client ID. So so this app is created. We do need to populate a lot more information here, but before we do that, let's first try to go step by step and parallelly the information required on the ServiceNow side, let's copy them. So here I'm already logged in to my instance. My plugins, let's go to plugin. So this particular instance is already entitled to have the Zoom plugins. So this is a Zoom Spoke and this is the Notify Zoom Connector. Both this are already installed here. Now the first thing we need to do is actually use these credentials and put into the application registry here. Let's go to auth. So under system auth, we have application registry. When the Zoom Spoke application installed, it creates an entry here, placeholder entry for Zoom. Let's open that, and since we are in global scope, this is in Zoom Spoke, this thing is read only. We need to click here to make this editable. This particular field we need to replace with the client ID that we have here. We click copy, copied. Client ID gone. Client secret, we click copy, copied. Client secret gone. Okay, let's save this thing. Right click, save. So if you notice, like this particular record already comes seeded with some value for token lifespan. This is a recommended value, which ideally you should not change. Sorry, actually I made a mistake here. So I did not quite calculate what that number really represents. So turns out the default value that we're shipping is just 100 days. So that means like your refresh token is going to expire after 100 days and the integration will stop working because it won't be able to make any outgoing calls, and you will actually have to go to the credentials page after 100 days or before 100 days and get a refresh token which will exist for another 100 days. Since Zoom allows you to get a refresh token for maximum 15 years, so you can choose to change that value and get a token for 15 years. For that, you actually need to change the refresh token lifespan value here to some value like 473040 then 000, which is actually 15 years expressed in number of seconds. If you change it to a smaller value, then chances are so that means like this particular token will get expired after that time, so you need to actually come back and again refresh that token after that time, else the integration will stop working. How to get a new token, how to refresh that token, we'll see that. And this record is not yet done. Actually, we need to put some more information. So if you see like the redirect URL is blank, we need to put some more information. So let's enter the redirect URL. We edit it. We have to click this lock icon to make this field editable. The redirect URL ends with this particular. So this is our auth_react.do, and we need to copy the instance name. So we'll copy it from the browser URL address bar. Place it here. So it's https instance / in the end it's auth_redirect.do. Let's save it. Okay, so that's one thing done. Now let's get back to the app marketplace features. So one of the requirements of the integration is like we make a call from the ServiceNow to the Zoom side. For that, auth is used, and now there are events. In that case, Zoom notifies ServiceNow of those events, and that's where this event subscription come into play. We'll fill this part later. First check out the other part. Scopes not required right now. So let's first try if we see we can get a token. For that, we still need to do some more things. So let's go for connections. So in connections and credential aliases, if we go, we are going to see a entry called Zoom. Go inside that, and under the connections related list, click on new. Let's call it Zoom connection, and the URL has to be https://api.zoom.us, and then let's save it. Now the next thing is we have to create this credential. Okay, so from the left section, let's go to credentials, new. We have to choose auth 2.0 credentials. Let's call it Zoom credentials. And in auth entity profile, we have to select search for Zoom. You should see Zoom default profile. Let's select that, save it. If you see, like we have created a Zoom default profile. From where this thing is coming, if you go back to the auth application registry Zoom, you see that it already has a Zoom default profile. So this thing comes actually seeded with the Zoom spoke, and this is the exact thing which you selected there. So let's get back to credentials, connections. In connections, let's populate this Zoom credentials that we created. Let's save it. So this reminds me actually that we actually need to define scopes before we get the token. Scopes define exactly what that token represents, rather like what are the rights you're getting when that token has been given to you. So it's entitlement. So let's get back to the App Store and scopes. The scopes that we need right now, let's click on that scope. So our application, new view and manage sub accounts user meetings, no, but we need to view all user meetings. We need to view and manage all user meetings. Webinar is not something just supported right now. Recording is not there right now. It's not, but it might come in future. So for future sake, you can add view all user recordings, then user, view all user information, then account, billing, contacts. All these are not required. So just to reiterate, view all user meetings, view and manage all user meetings, view all user recording. This is, you can remove it right now, but let's remove it for now. User, view all user information, done. So these are the scopes that we have, and when you already said done, it's automatically saved. Let's get back to our ServiceNow instance and connection. Let's get back to our credentials. Zoom credentials, it says like auth access or refresh token not available. So this is a related link. This is how you get a new token or get a refresh an expired token. Click on get on auth token. So this page loads and it says like what are the entitlements Zoom is giving to our application on the ServiceNow side. So it will be able to view all user meetings, manage meetings, and view user information. Let's authorize. So one thing to remember in this case, the token that we got it on behalf of the admin user or the user who is logged in right now. Now this part is done. Now we have done the part for setting the Zoom spoke, but we still need to set up the notify Zoom connector. So recall like Zoom, this whole integration works in two ways. One way where we access Zoom, and that's where the Zoom spoke comes in. In another way, the Zoom connects to a ServiceNow instance to inform ServiceNow of the events that are happening on the Zoom side, like someone joined the conference or the conference started and all those things. And that's where this event subscription comes into place. And this is something which is required with the Notify Zoom connector, because that part is implemented in there. So let's enable this. First thing is the URL has to be provided, the URL where Zoom is going to connect to post information about the events. So the URL ends with this, and it has to be preceded by the instance host name. So that's the complete URL. And we also need to tell Zoom about the list of all the events that this particular URL is expecting. So click on add events. So there are a whole host of categories. So right now we are interested in only the events which are under the meeting. So we will click and turn on events, all the events under the meeting category. So there should be around 16 of them. So click, 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 click. So 16 events, click done and click save. Saving. After saving, this thing is turned on, and we get something here called a verification token. So we need to copy that. Copy it, and we get back to ServiceNow instance, and let's go to Notify. Under Notify there will be Zoom. Under Zoom there will be configuration. Click on configuration, webhook validation token. That's where we need to put this information. So this is a security feature. So this way this Notify Zoom connector endpoint is able to validate that the incoming traffic is really coming from Zoom and not from some other imposter. So that's pretty much like the setup part, the basic setup part on the Zoom side. Now we'll see how to use this. After the Zoom app is configured, it's time to actually let Notify know when and where to use Zoom. And for that, so right now this is a brand new instance where Notify is not configured. So let's first configure Notify. Let's go to Notify properties and enable Notify on task using this checkbox, and save this. And we go to provider selector. We create a simple catch-all provider selector. Let's call it default. Check on default. Right click, save. In the related list we click on new. Since we have Zoom installed, so under conference provider we will see the option Zoom, submit. So now Zoom is configured as the catch-all provider selector for all kinds of records. Now let's try to use it. So here I have opened a list of incidents. Let's get into one incident. And we scroll down, we get a start conference call. Since Zoom is the only available provider here, so this drop down is read only, and the host is automatically added as selected. So it is a requirement like the host will have to be part of the meeting. That is something which is required by this connector, and that means like the current user in the profile, he or she should have the email IDs which is registered with Zoom there. If that person or the profile does not have a valid email ID, or the email ID is not registered with Zoom, then the conference cannot be started. This is the current requirement that we have right now here. So let's call it Zoom demo. I'm not adding anyone else right now, just let's start call. So it launches a new tab and my Zoom client is launching. So, and the description that I provided in the dialog, that gets set as the meeting topic. So it's called Zoom demo. I am the only participant right now here. Let's end this meeting. You can actually invite participants from here also, and it will, in that case also, like that information will get pushed to the notify side and that will get recorded there. Let's end this meeting. I'm waiting for all. Okay, so that's it from the usage side. There is one important security information which I did not mention before. Let's get back to the Zoom marketplace. So in the Zoom OAuth application definition, if you notice, like there is one section called whitelist URL. So here you can provide a whitelisted list of URLs or domains which are authorized to receive token from this application. This is a very recommended feature which you must use to safeguard your application. So let's see like what you should really provide here. So in this case, this is our instance. So let's copy our instance. Let's get back to app marketplace. And we just include the domain. You can actually create add new to add multiple domains if you require for this application. So this automatically gets saved. Now let's try this thing to test, like if this thing still allows me to access it. We'll go to credentials, Zoom credentials, click on get OAuth token. So we got a refresh, it's working. Now if you use some other instance and try to hit the same URL which is not there in the whitelist, in that case you are going to actually get an error from the Zoom server. So this is a good practice and a good thing to have.